welcome to my channel, and in this video I'm going to show you how I made a homemade chicken tender club sandwich. So first, I'm just showing you all the ingredients here that I'm using. So first thing I'm going to cook is the bacon, just because I can cook this bacon and then put it on the side so that I can prepare for the other stuff. To be nice and crispy. So as you can see in this pan, it has been cooking for a little while. It's definitely getting crispy, and once I feel like it is where I want it, I'll take it out and put it to the side and go on to the next thing that I'm going to prepare. So now I have taken my bacon out and put it to the side. I have turned on my deep fryer so that I can fry the chicken. I have some buttermilk there in a bowl, and I have a mixture of the breadcrumbs, and I just added a couple seasonings, just some onion powder, garlic powder, pepper, salt, a little bit of parsley, and I just mixed that in with the breadcrumbs. And now here, all you're going to see me do is take the chicken, dip it into the buttermilk, and then dip it into the mixture, and then I'm going to put it into the fryer to fry, and then I'll show you what that looks like once I'm finished. So here I'm just doing the same thing that I just did before, just preparing my chicken for the next one that I'm going to put in the fryer. And my fryer is small, so that's the reason why I was doing one at a time, but I only had like 4 or 5 chicken cutlets, so it worked perfectly for me. If you have a bigger fryer, then obviously you can do more than one piece at a time, but just for the video I was just showing you one by one. So now, while the chicken is frying, I'm just going to prepare the other stuff that's going to go in the sandwich. So here you see me cutting up 2 tomatoes, and the reason why I'm doing 2 is because I was making more than one sandwich. So once I cut up the tomatoes, I just put them on the side into a bowl. If you do not like tomatoes, you can substitute it for anything else, but for the purpose of the video and how I made it, I used tomatoes. So once I was finished with the tomatoes, now I'm going to wash off the lettuce and cut the lettuce as well. All of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory, but I'm still just showing you guys just for the sake of the video. So I'm just putting the lettuce hearts together, and I'm just cutting off the parts that we're not going to eat and putting those into the bowl as well. I am done cutting up the lettuce and the tomato. Now I'm going to take out my chicken, and here it looks a little crispy, but I like crispy chicken. Normally for my fryer, it can take about 6 to 7 minutes for these chicken cutlets, but it also depends on the thickness of it as well. But you'll see at the end of the video what it looked like, and I promise it was so good. So don't be alarmed by how my piece of chicken looks, because you can make your piece of chicken how you want to. However, I'm just showing you how I did it. So I'm just adding another piece of chicken in. So here I am just adding some butter into a pan, and I'm just going to brown my bread just a tad bit. I'm only going to do the top piece and the bottom piece. I do add a slice of bread in the middle, but I do not brown that bread. You can do that if you want. I don't think that is necessary, but for this video I did not. So now that I am letting the butter melts a little bit, I am going to spread it all over the pan. And I have my heat on about 4 or 5, and I do have an electric stove just in case you guys did not pay attention. So like I said before, I'm just going to brown the butter, just the top and the bottom pieces. As you can see, I tried to fit in 2 pieces, but the pan is a little bit too small. So boom, my bread has been toasting for about a minute or 2, and as you can see the top, this is how I would like for mine to be. So I'm just going to do the same thing to another piece. I'm just going to make sure that the bread soaks up all that butter that we added to the pan earlier, and then once I feel like it is to where I want it to be, I'm going to take it out and put the sandwich together. So now the hard part is done, and here goes the easy part, and the most fun part to me is putting the sandwich together and seeing how your creation all comes together. And then the next part is of course tasting it, and it was bomb. So here you are seeing me just add some mayo onto the bottom and the top part of the bread, and then after that I'm gonna add my chicken. Mayo is optional. You don't have to have mayo. You can use Miracle Whip or whatever you like to use, but for me, I like mayo, so that's what I'm using. And as you can see, my pieces of chicken do not look like the first piece of chicken that I showed you guys. So once I finish putting the chicken on, now I'm going to put the lettuce on top, and then I'm going to add the tomatoes. And like I said, tomatoes are optional, so you can put them on there if you want to. But it really tastes really good with it. I'm just going to add 4 just because my tomatoes were small. And then I am going to put mayonnaise on the middle piece of bread, and then I'm going to lay that on top of the tomatoes. Now I'm just going to mash that down a little bit, and then add some more mayo on top of that piece of bread. And when I'm adding the mayo, it's not a lot. It's a very thin coat of it, just because I don't want too much. And then I am going to add the bacon. Now, I did try with another sandwich adding the chicken first and then the bacon, but it really doesn't matter how you put it on there because it all tastes the same. So I just added 2 pieces of bacon, another piece of chicken, and then I'm going to add some lettuce and some tomatoes too. I'm just going to press down on it to try to flatten it a little bit, and then I'm going to cut it in half. And now I'm just opening the sandwich so that I can display it to you guys to see all this yummy goodness in here. And now here you have a chicken tender club sandwich, homemade. I promise you that this sandwich is so good, and